I think it was 1968, and why I had bought with my partner a 22 square meter named Teal, and in terrible shape. It was stored at 103rd Street, and we put it all together and caulked the hull, painted everything, varnished. It was just a fun project, and we finally put her in the water and came up underneath the Skyway, which is a dramatic run up to the place on. We had a mooring on at Monroe Harbor, which we quote inherited from the previous owner. Those were the days when the Coast Guard managed the harbor. So it was, and it was it was full, and it was really touchy to get a mooring every year. So that was my first boat. We just cruised the 22 square meter. It was kind of fun. I did a lot of tours. I organized tours to other countries, and I was in Budapest at Lake Balaton, and I opened a warehouse. This was in the winter, and it was loaded with 22 square meters. It was just quite something. Later, I saw them in Sweden, which is the home country for the 22. So that went fine. The boat cost us $1,500, and we sold it for $1,500. I think it was firewood afterwards. But then I bought I bought Red Jacket, which was a cutter rig, about a 34-footer, and it was I believe a British boat. So I had that about 5 years or so, and finally I went out of the boat ownership business and started chartering up at Traverse City. It was a wonderful place to depart from because you were 35 miles away from Beaver Island, or you could go up to Mackinac or whatever. And along the way, I went to Perth for the America Cup, and Chicago, of course, had a boat in that race, and we got out on the Chicago Chase boat, which is fun, and toured all around Australia. And anyway, Red Jacket got sold for, I think, the same price I paid for it, and I hope had a happy life after that. But well, that's the beginning. And if you want to ask what I was doing with the club afterwards, I ended up being a big reciprocal person. So I was at the Hong Kong Yacht Club. I was at of course, in the Perth, and all over. The last club was Trieste, which has a fabulous club, and I've sailed in the San Juan Islands with friends, and done a lot of sailing in Narragansett Bay, but never racing. It was always cruising, but it was great fun. And well, I should tell you that as a sample of the strange things that happened, when we brought the 22 square meter into the harbor, we tied her up, and the problem was always to get the caulking to set properly, and we would run a garden hose for a week or so into the inside of the boat to wait till it sealed up. But it wasn't quite enough that second year, and we happened to be tied up right next to the Commodore's yacht at Monroe. And the next morning, I went out to check the boat, and it was underwater, but it had been securely tied, so that was, I took some credit for that. But we got the heck out of there because the Commodore was having a party and everybody was looking at this sunken boat. So we luckily got out of there before anybody found us. So that was that. Of course, Chicago is always been very good. Most recently, actually, we were down in Sarasota, and the Sarasota Yacht Club is we exchange letters with them and usually have a dinner down there. This time we went to the St. Petersburg Yacht Club, which is a wonderful little club, but they insisted on you can't come in even for a bite to eat unless we have a letter. And whoever was handling letters from the club to their club got everything done within an hour. So we sat down, had a Bloody Mary, and enjoyed the club.